What is going on, guys? It is Rami Noodles here, and today we're going to do a Stars Reach pre-alpha guide, beginner's guide, because there's been a huge inflow of pre-alpha testers. They've been inviting people. People have been joining up and playing, and the pre-alpha is so far along, not so much more focused on one specific thing, that there's a lot of stuff to get involved with and cover. And so I'm hoping to show you guys like how it's going if you're curious about the game, and also if you're a pre-alpha tester or hoping to join the pre-alpha tests. This guide is going to help you out so you know what you're doing when you get in, because commonly right now is a lot of questions being asked in the Discord, like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And so hopefully this video relieves all of those questions, and you can get it started on your journey much, much quicker. So let's just hop into it. When you create your character and load into the game, you're going to hop onto one of these platforms. You're going to load on a planet. I think you can load on currently one of 3 different planets. I am on the temperate planet. This is called a real life station. You can store your real life there, so if you die, you'll spawn back there. First things you'll have on your toolbar, right here on the right side, you have your Omni Blaster, your Pathfinder, your Trailblazer, and your Harvester. Your Omni Blaster is your damage weapon. That's what you start off with. That's what you're going to do combat with. Your Pathfinder allows you to grab waypoints, which I will show in a bit. And then your Trailblazer is basically your ranger tool. This is going to allow you to place camps, as well as to get some improved functionality of making those camps, and then also allowing you to freeze and burn things later on. Harvester is pretty self-explanatory. When you see like mushrooms or logs or something out in the world and you want to harvest them, you use your Harvester. Now, you can only switch out gear from your toolbar while you're in a camp. So if I press I, you can see I start with some items. I've already been messing around with this character a little bit, so I'm just going to show my inventory off. So anyways, the Terraformer, you'll have a Terraformer in your inventory that will not need to be crafted. I'm just going to switch out the Harvester right now so I can grab that Terraformer. You also start off with some consumables, these consumables right here. And if you want to use consumables while in game, you can hold Z, and you can move your mouse around and do whatever you like. Right off the rip, let me show you the Pathfinder. Actually, before we get into the Pathfinder, let me show you the skill tree. So you can press K and it will open up the skill tree. The Ranger skill tree is all the camping stuff. That's going to be from your Trailblazer. Then mineralogy is going to be from your Terraformer. You're going to have your combat tree. This will, you've got basic combat. You've got your Omni Blaster. You'll unlock more recipes as you get XP. Forestry, dealing with trees, like cutting them down, planting them. Botany, I believe, is this an offshoot of I think it's an offshoot of something. No, that's harvesting. Yeah, so botany is a harvester thing. And then you've got your survey, which is the Pathfinder tool that I'm going to show you now. So with the Pathfinder tool, you can set waypoints. Let's see here. How do I set my waypoint? Was it E? Yes. So E lets you set your waypoint. And so if you find something you want to come back to later on, like let's say I want to come back to this location, which I will want to come back to this location, I can set a waypoint and it'll create that yellow marker that you see on screen. That's really cool. Oh, also, since I'm about to start moving, I should probably talk about the 3 bars down here at the bottom. So you've got your green health. That's your health that's the green stuff right there. Pretty self-explanatory. You've got your focus, which is the blue bar, and then you've got your stamina, which is the yellow bar. You will consume stamina by running, like so you can move and then hold shift to run. You can also consume stamina by dodge rolling, which is moving and then hitting control. And then you can also consume stamina by climbing. So if you go up to a building or wall, you can press spacebar to jump and then spacebar again to start climbing. Oh, get up here. And then that'll consume stamina. The other option you have is if you unequip your weapon, which to slot your weapon, unslot it, or holster it, I guess, you can go into stealth mode by hitting control while having nothing equipped, which is cool. It's not really a movement option, but it is nice. from my understanding, it's sneaking around creatures and whatnot. It's pretty cool. We've got our Pathfinder equipped, and you can see these waypoints. Collecting waypoints will give you survey XP, and you can only see them when you have the Pathfinder equipped. So you've got your Trailblazer, and then you've got your Pathfinder, and then collecting them gives you some XP. And then you can look in the survey tree. The survey tree allows you to learn the grapple recipe and the grav mesh recipe. That's going to be a while. I'm not going to really focus on making those, but I will give some tips about where to get resources for crafting stuff, because people often ask, where do I get this for this? Where do I get this for that? And we're just going to alleviate some of those answers depending on what you need. Also, speaking of crafting real quick, you can hit F1 and there's a ton of information here about all sorts of stuff. But the most important thing right here is, to me, the thing I use most often is the resources tab. And the resources tab will tell you like what metals are tier 3, what are tier 4, tier 5, all that stuff, what are exotic gems, and all this other stuff. This is nice because when you actually get to crafting, it'll tell you like, oh, you need a tier 3 metal. And it's like, well, what is tier 3 metal? And then boom, this is like a little cheat sheet you can use. It's very, very, very nice. So you guys have learned what the Pathfinder does. It's not too complicated. It's pretty simple. We're going to go ahead and try out the Terraformer. Terraformer lets you terraform. So you're going to... Oh, whoops, sorry. I've got my Terraform... See, this is the problem. I unlocked chronophasing, and then I didn't put my Terraformer in the right mode. So we ended up like spreading lava everywhere. Now I've got my tool mode set to extracting. You can change tool modes by hitting tab while having that specific tool equipped. So we're going to have it on extracting, and you can see I am harvesting shale. Now it says my hopper is full. Now that's because I was already messing around with the game. When your hopper is full, you cannot keep harvesting. So what you have to do is dump out your harvester. Now, that does not involve opening up your inventory as many people have thought it would be. In fact, all you have to do is, while in extraction mode, come up out to the ground. If you're digging a hole, I don't know, you probably don't want to do this when you're in a hole. And you just spam pressing Q. And you will dump out your hopper, and it'll create these little things of shale, or it depends on like if you're in space. I think it's like pyroxene or something like that. That's what the material's called. And now we've dumped out our hopper, and we can go back to terraforming the world, harvesting stuff. We'll get, shell resource for, just harvesting. The other mode you have is the chronophasing. So chronophasing I already unlocked in the mineralogy stuff. I really wanted to show it off. It's pretty cool. Basically, chronophasing allows you to progress time or rewind time on materials. So like, let's see. I think pressing E reverses time. So let's see what happens when we reverse time on shale. It'll shoot out this stuff. And then you can see like this was white, but it's turning to a different material now. And it's no longer shale. So what is it turning into? Let's try extracting it. It turned into clay soil. So that's what chronophasing does. Now, if we want to turn it back into shale, we can go back into chronophasing. We hit Q. Smack it up with that Q button. And it'll just... And now you can see it's turning white again. Sorry for the dark screen and the shadows of the tree. Probably not an ideal spot to do this. But you can see it's turned back into shale, which is cool. So, like, there's all sorts of interactions like this in this game. There's a ton of interactions like this, actually. You'll be able to create all sorts of resources if you just have the geological alchemic knowledge to do so. There's going to be a ton of different interactions here. You can see, like, it's back to shale, which is cool. Trailblazer, let's see if... our camp expired, and now you can see that I've got a big camp. If you look at the ranger tree, camp size, you can put XP down. You can get XP to get the camp size increase. As you increase your camp size, it's going to give you more things in your camp. So initially, right off the bat, you won't have a stove to use, and you won't have a tool maker to use. But since I've got the camping XP up to grab camp size 2, I can spawn both of these whenever, or both of these will spawn whenever when I place a camp. Now, if I get to camp size 3, it'll also have a lathe, which is another crafting station, and you can just take a look at the crafting stations real quick. Let's just take a quick gander so I can show you guys what it looks like. Also, if you want to switch from this to free mouse, it's T. Just press T. Man, I wish this is a little bit more organized, guys, but you know what? I got ADHD, so we're just going to have to deal with it. Hopefully everything is helping out. So this is the crafting menu. You click on something, and it tells you exactly what you need in order to craft it. And then you can see the quality of resources here. They've got 3 different stats, all ranging between 1 and 100. Currently in the alpha test, pre-alpha tests, the stats don't matter. Not at the moment. But they will eventually. So you can see we're required to have tier 3 metal to make the terraformer. We need specifically tungsten, and we need some sort of gemstone. Trailblazer, tier 1 metal. Then you need plastic, and then you need inert gas. And then Pathfinder, tier 1 metal, plastic, salt. Omni Blaster, you need some tier 1 metal, some gemstone, plastic, and for the Harvester, you need any kind of metal and some plastic. So what just happened is, and I know it's because it's dark right now, you can't really see it, but you can see the maximum for my yellow bar is lower than my maximum for my focus and my health. I guess I should say stamina instead of yellow bar. There's a bit of blackness on it, and that is a wound. You will get exhausted as you do things, and that exhaustion wounds you. And to take off the wounds, you'll need someone to go into a camp and do /dance. So this is kind of the idea that they had in Star Wars Galaxies, where you would dance and it would heal people. It doesn't work unless you're in a camp. So if you got a lot of wounds, which you will get wounds when you're doing combat and you're running around, you'll just naturally get wounded. And that's fine. You just need to get someone to dance for you. All right, so I want to show off some combat. You'll find like groups of enemies running around the world, and there's all sorts of different types. Actually, there's kind of like 4 types right now. Actually, 5, I think. Anyways, these are ball hogs. You can shoot at them. Cause them. Once you shoot at them, they'll see how they're emoting, like an angry face or pissed off that I shot at them. So you can go ahead and just keep shooting at them. Disregard their feelings. Eradicate the wildlife. Commit war crimes against nature. And you'll see they'll also get wounded as time goes on. And they have different kinds of attacks. Oop, don't want to get hit by this. This hurts. This does damage. These are the worst ones, in my opinion. These and the green ones. If you see a green one, run away. It'll suicide bomb you. And as you keep killing, you'll get meat, you'll get bone, you'll get gas. Some of these are required for... Oh, battery too low on my Omni Blaster. We'll just run around and grab the loot. Dodge bullets that it is shooting at me. If you click and hold your Omni Blaster, you'll be able to do a charge shot, which will do more damage, which is nice. Killed that. Here we go. Ooh, there we go. And then it dropped... What did it drop? It dropped methane. All right, so methane is actually nice. I think you can actually... I mean, obviously, these are all crafting components or crafting materials. But if you're wondering how to get gas, it's going to be from animals. You're going to have to kill these animals. So far, there's no NPCs or anything to kill. So if you're wondering about that, there's no NPCs. And there's also currently no PvP. So you don't have to worry about other players. But if you're in the pre-alpha test, please do not grief your fellow man, since we're all in a testing environment currently. Not intentionally, anyways. Don't intentionally grief. Anyways, as you do combat, you will get combat XP, and this will allow you to start unlocking the other weapons. The Helix heals. The gravity gun is more of a CC option. Drones are pretty big damage. They're pretty decent, you know. Not only will you be able to unlock recipes for like the shields and stuff, you'll also be able to unlock abilities. So with the Omni Blaster, you can unlock a tri-shot and the Doom Blossom, which are actually pretty nice. I like them. My other favorite weapon is the gravity gun and the Helix, just because I like healing, and the gravity gun CC is kind of cool. Especially I can imagine in a situation where, you know, you're playing the game with a group and you're healing them, and then you get somebody on you and you just use the gravity gun to use black hole bomb or boomer or something, which black hole bomb just sucks everybody in, shoots out an orb that sucks everybody in and then does damage, and then boomer explodes around you and pushes everything away from you. As you kill things, power-ups will drop. And this specific power-up is a bomb, so when I touch it, it does damage and kills the things around me, which is nice. I don't know if it's always an instant kill, but it definitely instant-killed that thing. And so, yeah, they will do AoE damage around you. There's also an invincibility power-up. It makes you invincible when you grab it. It's like the Mario star. And then there is a power-up that will double your speed and increase the jump of your height, which is really nice. Also, it makes you immune to fall damage currently, which is cool. And then there's another power-up that'll just fully heal you. It won't heal the wounds that you have, but it'll put you up to your maximum, your current maximum. As you can see, this guy was just dancing. It's not animating, but he was dancing, and that pulse is healing me. And I can heal others as well if he needs it. I see that -1 exhausted. That means he's getting healed. And as you dance, you can see it's also taking up focus, which is cool. It does cost something to actually do. Later on, I'm pretty sure that dancing and entertainment and stuff will be its own profession, but for right now, everybody can do everything. While I'm here in camp, I'm going to go ahead and switch to my harvester, just show you guys how harvesting works. It's not too complicated. You just equip your harvester, and you go find stuff to harvest. Now, you can't harvest from trees because that is a forestry thing. Later on, you'll be able to harvest from trees once you are into forestry and you have the xylo slicer. But when you see giant mushrooms like this, you can go ahead and harvest them, and then until it says it seems there's nothing left. From the mushrooms, I've been getting ammonia and salt. Salt is necessary for certain crafting, which is really nice. Speaking of crafting, let's go ahead and head out to space. I'll show you guys how that's done. Thankfully, I've created a waypoint to where my original location was, which is really nice, so you can wander around the map and not get too lost. When you're running around the map, the developers have gone ahead and placed these beacons of light. The big blue light, that's where the portal is. Where that giant yellow thing is, that is where the portal is. And this is our portal, so we're going to go ahead and go through. When we get the option, there we go. Get right underneath it, press F, and we'll load into space. So we spawned on a relife station, which is cool. Every time you load and transition, your character's customizations will change currently. They're doing some testing with like clothing and character sliders where we're not actually affecting the character sliders, but you know, it's there. The reason we're in space right now is I wanted to kind of demonstrate how space works, but also I wanted to demonstrate where to get the nicer materials. Some of the materials you're going to need for crafting. Space is pretty dense with this stuff. So you jump out into space, you hit double space bar, press space bar twice, and you will start floating. You can shift to run around even more. You can press control to go down. You can hit space bar to go up. There is no rotation at the moment. You can see someone was building here. Someone built some stuff. That's cool. When you approach an asteroid, you will automatically adjust to its gravity. And when you jump, you'll jump really high. You won't take fall damage. Not currently yet. Maybe there'll be in the future momentum, you know, if you slam into the asteroid. But just like the space station, you just jump, press it again, and you're back to flying. So we're going to pull out our terraformer here. We're going to get in here. And you'll see that there's the ground, which is pyroxene. But here is iron. So we can collect iron as we need. Then there's also chromium and magnetite. These are all different kinds of metals that you're going to need for crafting. And this is the most abundant place to find these. And manganese as well. So you're going to find all sorts of resources in space, as well as tungsten. Tungsten you'll find on smaller asteroids. My hopper is full, so we're just going to go ahead and come out here and just dump it. There we go. It's going to dump where your crosshair is. let's look for tungsten real quick. All right, so I finally found some tungsten. It seems that most of the planet has already been, not planet, sorry, most of the asteroids have been mined currently in this stage of the pre-alpha. This has actually been the first time we've kind of really had consistency between the worlds, like an actual MMO. So we can go ahead and just start mining tungsten. This will be useful for us for crafting later on. But you usually find this tungsten on these smaller asteroids, because I know that's going to be a question that comes up quite often when people are like learning to craft and get their crafting stuff ready and all that good stuff. So I'm glad we found some tungsten so I could demonstrate it. Now the worlds will be reset occasionally, and I suspect they'll be opening up more worlds as time goes on, testing stuff out. That's not dev confirmed, that's my suspicion. Just want to get that out there. So when you're out floating around in space, you'll notice there are blue beams. The developers have placed these blue beams. They are, they are teleporters to other planets. If you want to go back to the temperate planet, it's always this central location here with the teleporter on the bottom. And then we'll just go ahead and head to one of these planets and see what's going on. All right, so I ran into a bug, so I had to reboot the game, but that's fine. It looks like we've spawned on the desert planet, which is actually my favorite planet thus far. There's like player-made stuff here. People are building giant pillars and putting trees on them and, just generally playing the game, having fun. That's pretty much the basics. The rest of it, if you figured out those, you can figure out the rest of the game pretty much. Forestry, civil engineering. Civil engineering is something I've been wanting to do. So that's what I'm going to attempt to focus on for the rest of this test. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and hope this guide was helpful. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace!